Hello everybody, welcome to What's New with Call of Cthulhu here at Chaosium Con UK. Some of you in the Pendragon talk earlier, and Mike Mason will personally never let me hear the end of it if the Pendragon seminar was more rowdy than this one. So if you see something you like up on the screen, let us know in the most boisterous way possible. Please welcome the Call of Cthulhu creative team, Mike Mason, Paul Fricker, and Keris. Alright, so we got the slides, and full disclosure, our creative team has not seen the slides yet, so I think it's fun for everybody. So we're going to... Sanity check.
It's a ghost.
Alright, so we're going to talk about some stuff that's already happened. So 2026 so far. Just tell us briefly about these books that I assume everybody in this room has already purchased. Starting with Dust and Blood. Keris, what is Dust and Blood?
Okay, so Dust and Blood is a 2-scenario book. It is Cthulhu by Gaslight. There is a... the first scenario is called Ashes to Ashes, and it is a scenario for people who are just starting out. It's really easy to run. It's really easy to pick up the rules as you go along. It's quite short and quite linear, and the characters are supposed to be playing people who work in a dust yard, which is the Victorian Recycling Centre. And they're really low class, they're tough, they're strong. They're not expecting to do anything with their lives except grind on and get through each day one at a time, and then the mythos is going to hit them big time, and they're going to have to deal with it. The second scenario in the book is Signs Written Scarlet, which is a classic. It's been remastered for this. It's more complicated. It's a sandbox style scenario. It's got numerous antagonists, both supernatural and human, and yeah, it's a big meaty scenario to really get stuck into. It is set, both are set in the sort of urban underbelly of London, so we're talking about, you know, East End or similar, and very much sort of the Signs Written Scarlet riffs off the whole sort of fear and vibe about Jack the Ripper. Though it isn't concerning that, but it's picking up those sort of feelings, I think.
I ran Dust and Blood for a group, two of which had never played a role-playing game before, and they picked up very well, so a great way to get people into Gaslight. Mike and Paul, you addressed the part, but what's going on with Scouts?
Campfire Tales, Scouts against Cthulhu. Who wants to know about that? Oh, we're not going to talk about it now. We come back in an hour. No, stay here, and then the next hour, we got a whole hour talking about it. What more could you ask for? So there you go. But it's basically, it's Scouts and it's Cthulhu.
That's all you need to know.
Well, it's not, because in that we're going to talk about it for an hour.
Yeah.
Loads you need to know.
Alright, what's going next? Who wants to see new things we haven't talked about yet? Actually, I don't know what the next one is. We might have talked about it already.
Have you ran
Cthulhu Clockwork Bull. It's actually for sale already, which is great. Yeah, Mike, real quick. What is
It's
this
Call
book?
of Cthulhu, 2 scenarios.
Woo! Call of Cthulhu Keeper Tips got a new cover.
Oh.
Get about that too. Oh, and by the way, if you don't buy it this weekend, you're not going to be able to buy it again until August. So, go do that. Oh, what's that?
Oh.
Michael! What is the Call of Cthulhu Keeper Companion?
Well, it's a book, and
Whoa!
so how many years old is Call of Cthulhu, the current edition?
Well, we started writing it in 2008, but it was published in 2015, I think.
Yeah.
2014, 15.
So over 10 years.
Yeah.
So over 10 years, we had ideas and thoughts about 7th edition, about certain things that we thought, maybe we could do that better, or maybe if we did this. So the Keeper Companion is not a reprint of the old Keeper Companions, which were really not really Keeper Companions. They were like source books on tomes and things like that. This is actually, as it says on the title, new ideas, options and advice. So it's got a lot of what we call optional rules. So if you don't have this book, you don't have to have it to play Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. But if you do, then you have some options. For instance, things that some people have found difficult, such as automatic fire, or chasers, or things that some people love, definitely, some people don't like. And so we've tweaked and we've re-looked at certain things and addressed some optionality in the rules, and there's also a lot of some brand new stuff in there, some new, Paul can mention that in a minute, I guess, and there's 3 scenarios. That's the overview. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's really new?
Well, the 3 scenarios, I'll give you a quick spiel on those. The 3 really good scenarios. So there's Little Miracles by Al Smith. It's a kind of a short scenario, short and punchy scenario. Missing professor, go and find him in the woods, all good near Arkham. There's If I Had a Hammer, written by me, and also one by Adam Gauntlet, who's here this weekend, which is a marvellous scenario, again set in Arkham, called, well, we've retitled it, but with Adam's permission, What a Puzzler, and that's it is sort of hooking into the craze for puzzles, which Adam writes about so eloquently. And so I think that covers it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to say, of all the rules in there, but not the new one, not the old ones, as in the optional ones. One of the new rules, such as hordes.
Oh, hordes, yes.
You don't have to tell them what the rule is, you can tell them what it's about.
Well, it's about that idea that if you've got a bunch of fairly, smallish enemies, which in Cthulhu, so we're not talking like a bunch of star spawn, but perhaps a few kind of low-level zombie-type creatures, or that sort of thing. Then we've got a way of sort of lumping those together as kind of one enemy, and just some ideas about how to do that. So rather than having to, start up 6 of them and roll them all individually, just a way of kind of incorporating those and making the keeper's life easier. That's very much what we're sort of focused on, is how can we make the keeper's life easier and make the game easier to run? And that's why a lot of those things are optional, so you can pick and choose.
The design acumen was you took the zombie stat block and you changed the name to 5 zombies. Is that what you did?
Got it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, easy to know. All right, so Keeper Companion will be out September of 2026. So this year, counting so far, that'll be 5 releases for Call of Cthulhu this year so far. Keep the number up. Would you like to see something else new? Yeah. Don't know what the next one is. Oh, Cthulhu, I guess, keep the screen pack. I'll ignore this. It sort of made it look like a hardcover book. That's a graphic designer shoot. That's right. But Keris, can you quickly talk about what is the Keeper screen pack? Because there's a very unique aspect to this Keeper screen.
I would say innovative.
Innovative. And unique, yes.
Yeah, so Gaslight needs to keep a screen. We've got a beautiful one. It is 4 panels. It is really, really lovely artwork. It comes with, obviously, with the keep screen pack sort of rules compendium, useful stuff that the keeper can sort of quickly look up, like lists of generic NPCs and their stats, and just sort of at your fingertips, sort of stuff that you might need while you're playing instead of riffing through books. But the screen pack this time, the screen, we have done in 2 parts. So it all fits together as one long thing, but you can separate it out so that you can move your minis down the middle, or you can do one behind the other, or it's just
Can I
gives you a
put
bit
one
more
on top
flexibility.
of the other, just so I can really hide behind it?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
good.
you can. That would make it really difficult to roll.
There's some maps in there and poster maps and wonderful things.
Yeah. Blank telegram.
Or a telegram.
Always useful.
Telegram, and obviously you get the PDF for free if you buy the hard copy. So the telegram is also writable, so you can create as many as you like and use them as your handouts.
Cool. So the Cthulhu by Gaslight Keep the Screen pack will be out at a later date, like Q4 of this year. So we'll let you know exactly when. Something else new? No? Anyone? Yeah. Anyone? Yes! Call of Cthulhu Tools of the Trade.
Wow, you're telling people.
Yeah, right. How good is that? Mike and/or Paul, would you like to tell everybody what is called Cthulhu Tools of the Trade?
Well, I'll start, but really, Keris has been the one who's worked on
sorry.
it. So, a while, about 10 years ago, there was a discussion that, hey, you know what people like? People like equipment lists and lists of guns and things, because everyone likes to go shopping in the middle of a game of Call of Cthulhu. Wouldn't it be great to have a player-facing book that players, you can leave on the table, players can pick out, and then, and wouldn't it be cool if it wasn't just tables of weapons and how much they cost and how much damage they did, but there was also in-game benefits for certain items, and if we're talking about, tools and things like that, well, if I have these tools, will I get a bonus or some sort of help if I try and pick a lock or that kind of thing? So it's kind of like a whole bag of cool things across a range of things, not just weapons and tools, but it covers medical stuff and so on and so on. But Keris, you want to say a bit more?
Yeah, I apologise, Keris, your name is actually second credit. These two nerds are not even on the cover of the book. I should have started with you, I apologise. Tell us about Tools of the Trade.
Yeah, it's classic era, so 1920s, but we've also got, in the tables, we're covering the prices for the 1930s as well, so if you're playing pulp, you've got both sets of prices. Interesting, some things go up, some things go down, and I got my historical hat on quite a lot, sort of doing research on stuff and looking through old catalogues and things like that. It was fascinating. And we've got a lot of stuff on guns, for those who are interested in guns, but many people are not.
Medicine, clothing, hats.
Medicine, clothing, clothes. How much it costs to stage a funeral for your investigator.
Accommodation, hotels, dinner parties.
How much you would actually spend on tutorial if you were going to the Miskatonic University, how much would it cost you every year, and how does it compare to other universities, that sort of thing.
So is this a book for players first, rather than GMs?
Well, both.
Or both.
There's no mythos secrets in here in that sense. A lot of cool ideas for players to kind of go, oh, if I got this, I get a bonus. It says here, So it's very much a player-friendly book, but obviously it would be cool if keepers had it too, because then they could say, no, it doesn't say that there.
Wouldn't have made that, mate. So, Call of Cthulhu Tools of the Trade will be out also Q4 of 2026. I won't say something is new because I can't remember what the next slide is, so we're all going to find that together. One exciting thing currently in development. I didn't tell you I was going to do this. We're going to put Keris on the spot.
Not good.
Built by Gaslight Curse of Sevens. Could Keris, you please just share some thoughts about what this is and what it's going to be?
This is going to be the next Masks of Nyarlathotep. So it's a Gaslight campaign. It is big. It comes in 2 volumes in a slipcase with lots of lovely art, we really hope. It's going to take you on a sort of 7-part campaign across England and Wales to all sorts of different places in Victorian Britain, sort of industrial hellholes, and then up the Slate Mountains of Wales and into the marshes in Kent, and also all over the place. And it's a nice campaign written by a whole load of really big names. Who are
Mark Morrison, Penelope Love, for instance, who obviously were part of the team who wrote Horror Neon Express, and others as well. Oscar Rios was involved at a point as well, and even I've added something to it. So there you go. But it's as Keris said, it's a big campaign. It's very, very cool. And I'm trying to think what's.
Well, I was going to ask a question. Obviously people are familiar with Masks of Nyarlathotep as a 2-volume slipcase epic campaign. Is this also a sort of sense, because with masks you can go to all different points at different time. It is like that, or is it sequential?
No, it's not sequential.
Yeah.
Once you've got the first scenario done, it gives you the information so you can start looking at all these different places, and you can take it in any order that suits you. And certainly we've had people sort of play testing it and going, yeah, my players have said, we looked into this and decided we were not ready for it yet, and we're going to go somewhere else.
The other cool thing, I think, was our original concept when I was fleshing out with the writing team originally, was that each of the scenarios, it riffs or is inspired by a different horror writer from the kind of late Victorian Edwardian period. So it goes, there's one of the chapters is inspired by Dickens. There's another one that's an M.R. James, clearly an M.R. James, inspired chapter and so forth. We don't make overt references to those. So one of the cool things is trying to work out which authors they are riffing on.
Anything else you'd like to share about Curse of Seven?
It's great. I love it. That's it. I've been working on it for a long time, and there's just so much to it, and it's so much fun.
Like Masks, there's a whole heap of handouts and maps and things like that, and so like Masks, there will be almost like a third volume of all the player aids and so forth in there.
So I should mention at the start, we probably will have some time for questions at the end, so if you have any questions about anything that comes up, write them down, because you'll forget them in the meantime. Alright, I don't know what's coming next. Let's all find out. Oh, one more thing for Call of Cthulhu. We haven't talked about that. Let's go right here. Alright. Feel free to hoot and or holler. Call of Cthulhu Innsmouth. What is it?
It's you can come out of this in a little bit if you like. This is one of the first off the press proof prints. So I shall show you what you get. You get a book. Ooh. Like Arkham, you get a copy of the Innsmouth Courier, which is, I'll tell you the date of the Courier. It's, where is it? July 16th, 1846. Just before the paper burnt down, somehow. There might be some bit of history there, you never know. There's also 2 poster maps. There's one for the keeper and one for the players. So you've got, like Arkham, you've got the town plan, and then you've got the outskirts of Innsmouth. And this is the keeper version with all the key locations. And then you've got the player-friendly one without the key locations, and also with the player version of the countryside around Innsmouth, and the marshes and the swamps. And then you've got the book, which is, if you've seen the Arkham book, then it's going to be very familiar, as in, there are, obviously we detail Innsmouth to the T, with a whole revamped, rewritten, updated, lots of new material in here, including chapters not only on the history of Innsmouth, but we've also got chapters on the esoteric order of Dagon, exactly what that is, what the hierarchy is, how it works, so forth. There's also the chapter on investigating Innsmouth about how do you integrate investigators into this, how do you use Innsmouth in the game, things they can find out. And there's a whole heap of stuff, everything you ever wanted to know about the deep ones, and how they look, how they, they differ in how they appear and what they can do, what their aims are, how you could use them in the game in a variety of options in terms of, are the deep ones the bad guys or are they the good guys? And so forth. And you've got all the actual town of Innsmouth detailed by neighbourhood and so forth, with various scenario seeds at the back, and artifacts and deep one spells and additional monsters and lots of cool things.
So a question, Mike, because obviously Innsmouth's basically been given the Arkham treatment.
It's been given the Arkham treatment, yes.
And people who are familiar with Arkham, so you know all the NPCs will be detailed. A question that some people might be thinking is that with Innsmouth, when you've got NPCs that are detailed, like in Arkham, where they have different scenario seeds connected to them, is every NPC also just secretly a fish person in Innsmouth?
No, I mean, one of the things about Innsmouth is it can be, you can treat it as a one-trick pony. As you go there, there's fishermen, they chase you away, you never go back, and you can do that if you wish. But wouldn't it be nice if you could do more? And one of the things about Innsmouth is that they're not, it is, while there are many human deep one hybrids, there's also a sizable portion of humans who still live in Innsmouth for some reason. Maybe they don't feel they can leave. And some of them are going to be allies of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, and some of them aren't going to be, but a lot of them are not going to say anything because they're feared of saying anything. Because they've been so conditioned over the years. But so there's a number of different kind of strands you can pull on into it, and there are indeed adventures and adventure strands in here that have got nothing to do with the EOD. There are, there's full reasons why you can visit Innsmouth to find out certain information that may relate back to what you're doing in Arkham or Dunwich or wherever. So it's meant to be as versatile as Arkham is, to give you a range of options and a range of different ways to play it. Also, everything you may have learned about, think you know about Innsmouth, could be wrong. Because if you follow the Lovecraft stories, one individual claims to have seen fishmen and Shoggoth and crazy things, and clearly that person, are they telling the truth or are they not? That's for you to decide, but there are options in there for you to date, a whole manner of new directions if you so wish.
And what about other sort of details, like if my character is in Arkham and I want to travel through Innsmouth, how long would that take me on a bus?
Well, it's all there. I can tell you how much it costs as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. Adjusted for inflation.
Can I say about the art? I think
yes.
I had no hand in this book, but when I looked at it for myself and I read it cover to cover. But I've read the original story, I'm very familiar with that, lots of times, and so I'd kind of got a conception of what Innsmouth was like. But then when I saw the pictures in the book, I thought, this is what Innsmouth looks like.
Yes.
It's kind of semi-derelict, run down, but it's got that seaside town vibe, and there's some fantastic artwork, I think. In there.
Really fantastic.
It really brings it to life.
I worked with an art director called Ty, who's in, he's Australian.
He's Australian, yeah.
Who really understood what I was trying to get to in terms of how not every Innsmouth hybrid looks like a fish person. A lot of them look human, so you don't know they're a hybrid. Or at least they're not. They haven't grown gills yet. So there's a whole kind of range of people that you can meet, and so you don't necessarily know who you're talking to and what their agendas are, which I think is what you want in a role-playing game. You want lots of options and secrets and things like that to use. So, but there's Matt Ryan did the new maps. We worked out all the underground of Innsmouth. Where all the secret caves are and where do they come out on the shore and how does that connect and what's going on in the swamps and the farmland outside. And there's loads of really cool. There's particularly one very cool one. Like Mothman in the US. Well, living outside of Innsmouth, there's rumours there's an owl man, and you don't want to get too close to him. But there's lots. As I say, it's not all about fishmen, although there's a lot about fishmen. Let's be honest. But there's also other stuff as well.
Okay, hold your questions till the end. So we just want to share with you the release roadmap. So this is what's coming out for Call of Cthulhu soon, so you can get keeper tips before Innsmouth. If you're lucky enough to be going to an event like Gen Con, you can get Innsmouth there and maybe see Mike and Paul there, or you can see them here. Exactly, and it's so Curse of 7 is, we didn't talk about this, Q1 of next year, so probably around February or March, I imagine. So get excited. It's a good time to be a Call of Cthulhu fan. Do we have any questions? Orderly, yes.
I'm going to be the annoying one in the room. You've got the Keeper's Scene for Gaslight, you've got the Keeper's Book for Gaslight, and you've got the Investigator's Guide for Gaslight. What would be a great thing that would be around that to keep it all in one place?
New house.
That's the new house. Could there be in the future a collector's edition where you put the book, the screens together in a slipcase? Because I know shipping a piece of cardboard across the is nearly impossible, but people wouldn't buy a slipcase.
Keris, write that down. Anything is possible, yes. That is certainly, look, the slipcases generally are a higher price item. As you say, we're probably not going to sell a slipcase just by itself. I imagine if we did that, we might do something like
it might be like a
like
leatherette version, unique
edition
to
or
that
something
set
like
kind of
yes.
thing.
Speaking of leatherette versions, I noticed there's a leatherette version of Innsmouth.
There is, just there.
Are we going to also possibly have leatherette versions of the Curse of 7?
Oh, I'm sure.
Almost certainly.
Almost certainly.
Yes. There's a leatherette version of masks. There's a new leatherette version of masks.
Yeah.
So there will be a leatherette, and Curse of 7 is already in a slipcase, which, as you know, is a more expensive item. So it will be a very premium product.
And there's a new leatherette of Pulp Cthulhu as well.
Yes.
They had some here earlier on that.
Yeah. Questions, comments, thoughts? In the back, yes.
It's not so much a question about public service announcements. Other gun books are available.
Yes.
And I'll be doing a pop-up tomorrow.
Yes.
Sorry, this is kind of looking a bit way into the future. So there are obviously are like a really impressive plethora of Cthulhu settings. You've got Invictus, Dark Ages, 1920s, of course, and even most recently 1980s Tokyo. But this is kind of for each of you, what would be your dream project to write, like a setting to write around?
Yeah, if each of you had free reign and no permission needed to do anything you like, where would you like? I mean, the difficulty is you may have asked a question which Mike, as the person who gets to decide what they write, may not be able to answer without spoiling what they've got planned for the future. But if you can do so in a...
Why don't you start, Keris?
Yeah.
I'll build up.
Completely blue sky. Not saying we've got anything in the pipeline. Dreamlands. That would be my golden project.
Who would like a Dreamlands book? Just give me an idea.
3 of you? Paul? Scouts?
Well, is that? I guess that does that count as a settings book?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, Scouts is one that I've enjoyed working on. I tend to come at it from a what's a cool story, and then I bolt a setting on. So I don't really start from the viewpoint of thinking, oh, the 1950s or a period sort of setting. I just kind of think, well, what would fit this story really well? And sometimes it's not where I sort of started from. I didn't start with the setting. It's mind mode. So sorry to evade the question, but I don't have a burning desire for a particular setting.
As long as it's the 1970s, that's really.
Yeah.
The world stopped after 1979 for Paul.
In my house. In my house.
Anything after is not worth thinking about.
Well,
for me, I think the one that I would like to see we do something on at some point would be something I've longed to do for a long time. Actually, is a sort of like a science fiction mashup Cthulhu, because I think there's not a lot of that been done. We did. Back when we launched 7th edition, we did Cthulhu Through the Ages, and we kind of threw in a couple of you know, new things in there. There was the Reaping, which was kind of like a post-apocalyptic Cthulhu. But there is also Icarus, which actually was written by John French, who sat there in the hand, which was a sci-fi, you know, you're on a spaceship basically, and you're trudging through space, and kind of it gets a bit all Event Horizon kind of thing. I really quite like that kind of thing, so that would be something I would be very interested in, alongside Dreamlands, I think. You know, but maybe if I was to do Dreamlands, I think it would be a little different than the old Dreamlands. Because the old Dreamlands, let's face it, is kind of fantasy Call of Cthulhu. And it's not a dream, is it? It's just basically you go into a fantasy dimension that never changes. And you tell me any dream that's ever been like that.
Well, Mike, tell us what you really think.
Well, controversially, I'd like the Dreamlands to be a bit like a dream. I'd like it to be more nightmarish. I'd like it to act and have dream logic and play like Call of Cthulhu rather than sword and fantasy with BRP. Because another game we do, plenty of other games that do that.
Good question. Anything else? Any other questions about the various sites?
Is the backside screen will go with Signal? Will go with adventures?
Does it come with adventures? No. No, it's going to, and it's going to be cheaper because of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any chance of a virtual tabletop because the set released at the same time through one of the
All released at the same time.
I'm not sure about release at the same time because it's all about resource allocation, and we do have people who are working full time on creating VTTs of the products we do, but unfortunately VTTs weren't really a big thing when we started 7th edition, and they're still playing catch up, to be frank. So I mean, it would be nice, I agree. I think one day, you know, we may see a point where every release we do comes also with the VTT version, but that's not this week, so I couldn't promise at this point.
There's another question back, yes?
Firstly, just so great to see that it's coming out. I'm so looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to since you first mentioned it last year at this event. And you also said that there would be scenario books for Arkham, Innsmouth, and the other locations somewhere down the line.
We did.
So,
this only goes up to Q1 of next year.
But I wanted to ask, not about how soon, because you know that's not announced or not announced, but were you looking at with Innsmouth rewriting previous work, which was some very good material done for it, the Escape from Innsmouth, or is it all going to be fresh?
It's as ever. We look at the merits of everything, and we certainly have some new scenarios in the kind of Miskatonic Valley area, and we have a lot of old scenarios in the Miskatonic area. And when we put a book together, we don't just go, well, it must have all old or it must have all new. It's really what would be good, what would make that book cool to play through. And one of the things we try to do with the collections of scenarios is, they are kind of designed to be one shots or one play, but when we put these together now, it's kind of, well, it would be kind of cool if you could string them together if you want to. So there's a loose kind of campaign concept. So often with that idea, it's obviously trying to think, well, that old scenario would go really well with this new scenario, so we'll have those two, and then what else would complement those, or what would take the story further? So it's difficult, there's no real formula, but the easy answer is it's going to have a bit of both, some of these books, yeah.
Oh, and one other thing, science fiction setting, you might want to look at Brick, which is a comic strip from 2000 AD, where humanity is now living in sort of space vehicles on the outskirts. It has a Lovecraftian element, it looks like an amazing setting.
I perhaps won't, because I don't want to get accused of plagiarism.
Just following up on the question of BTTs, you've got Chaosium Plus, which is doing really great with the Age of Viking. Cthulhu coming to that soon, or not able to say it?
I'll say is that Age of Vikings is the testing ground. I'll say that. So yeah, once we learn what we do from that before we, Age of Vikings is a great game. Obviously, I think it's safe to say Cthulhu is a bit more popular, so we want to make sure that that platform is perfect before we launch Cthulhu on it. Right? So. Anyone else? Anything else? Yes?
Is the Innsmouth book set in 1922 like that?
Yes, they're all going to be set in 1922. And then you can then move forward accordingly. And like the Arkham book, certain locations, certain characters will have or already have a look to the future bit where if they do something a bit later on, it will mention it. So if you do want to stick to a Lovecraftian or scenario published timeline, then you can integrate that accordingly.
Just
any plans for any remasters, like some of the classics, Shadows of Ghost or anything like that?
You said the magic word, didn't you? I'm trying to avoid. I tried to pretend I didn't hear that. So things like Dare the Beast or Fungi from Your Goth, we're not currently working on things like that particular one, but you know, there's always potential in the future. I mean, there's a lot of people who would like to see certainly Fungi from Your Goth / the Beast come out. There's a few people who have some particularly tinted rose glasses who we'd like to see that. They liked it the first time around. They'd like a new version, and I think that could work. I don't think a new version of Shadows of Cthulhu will work. I'll tell you why. Is because it's a campaign. No surprises here. It's a campaign that ends with the raising of Relay Cthulhu. The whole point of the campaign is the cultists are trying to raise Cthulhu. And yet at no point in the campaign is the cult of Cthulhu, whose one purpose is to raise Cthulhu, mentioned in the campaign. To me, that's a little bit of a, so I would, if I was to do that campaign again, I think it needs completely rewriting. And so if we're going to do that, then that's a lot more work. But it's something we'd like to do. It's just we've limited resource and we do that. But yeah. What we're doing is looking, as I just answered, there are some older scenarios that aren't quite as big that we'll look to update. Keris has mentioned Signs Written Scarlet. Signs Written Scarlet, which is a massive scenario. It's almost a mini campaign in itself with the sandbox style of play. And so we're already doing bits and pieces and cross them off. But we'll get to some of these older things. The trouble with some of the older scenarios, they were great in their day. They don't stand up as well with modern play for various reasons. But they could do, but they need a bit of work. Is the honest comment, to be honest. Yeah.
Any other questions? One at the back, yes.
I wondered what the relationship between Chaosium's, especially with new material coming out, and they do that across historical society, in regards to discussing when you have a new project, whether they would want to be engaged in some process.
Oh, that's a great answer. Well, they were. They did help me with this. So, as in Arkham, because I'm busy writing this bit, and I really don't have a lot of time to also write a newspaper. But those guys are really hot on that kind of stuff. So Andrew Lehman, and with help from Sean, they're the guys who put this together. And while they were working on it, Sean Branney, the other half of the Historical Society, got really into Innsmouth and Deep Ones and said, can you send me what you've written on the Order of Dagon and Deep Ones so far? I said, yeah, I'll send it. I'll keep it quiet, but I'll send it to you. And he came back, I look at that. I've got a few ideas and I've written some more stuff you could put in if you want to. So I read his stuff, and one of the things was an option for Call of Cthulhu called Shoggoth grenades. And I went, well, okay then. All right then. So those guys did do a bit of writing for the book as well. So we do get involved. We kind of talk quite a lot. I have a fairly close relationship with both the guys in terms of upcoming plans and work. Because also they, under license from us, they're also doing their own scenarios now. And they're doing their kind of prop pack boxes where you get a scenario with a load of props that relate to the scenario, which is really cool. In fact, I think they've just released a new one, haven't they? Or the one in time for Gen Con.
Yes.
And they're really worth looking at too. They're really great.
Sean and Andrew are on the cover. Their names are on the cover.
Oh,
Yeah, they did, yeah.
oh so yeah, that's great.
Branny and Lehman, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't notice that. I was wondering who those two were. Any other questions before we wrap up? No, we're good. All right, team, anything else you would like to say about any of our releases or anything that's on the schedule for the rest of the day before we close this one?
Well, stick around for discussion about Campfire Tales, Scouts, and then Mike and I, in the hour after that, Mike and I will be talking about how we developed 7th edition and where that came from.
And then the hour after that,
yeah, and the hour after that,
Lucy Bramble, who does a lot of the art direction for Call of Cthulhu these days, and I will be talking about art in Call of Cthulhu. So I'm here all day. So yeah, please stick around.
All right, thank you for coming, everybody, and a big thanks to our Call of Cthulhu creative team.